Archive of Beauty and Ugly Times, Part 17, on Saturday, April the 4th, 2020. Once again, I'm back in this parking lot with my corner. I went for a bike ride earlier today, partly with the hopes of seeing beautiful things. It's about 6 in the afternoon, still daylight here in Miami. What I saw was a lot of people out and about, taking advantage of the nice weather, like me, going for jogs, bicycles, etc., which is all great and really important, except a lot of people were behaving like everything's normal in terms of passing each other, stopping, being close together, congregating. And it really upset me, and I just don't want to be a part of that. So I've decided that for the time being, I'm really not gonna go on bicycle rides at times of day where other people are likely to be out. So that means I'm gonna be riding at night more. And tonight at least, I've already gone for a ride and I don't want to go for a second one. So I don't have places to go to show you beautiful things that are far away from me. So I'm pacing back and forth in this parking lot, thinking about how much things are changing and how long they'll be different, whether they'll ever go back to the same. Obviously, in the moment of a slow-moving crisis, it's hard to see past the immediate and think in the long term. But I do think in the long term, there's no going back to the life that we were living before. And that's probably a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we shouldn't get back into social contact with each other at some point and want to be able to do things like go to a friend's house for a barbecue, or go to classes, or just go to Starbucks or the store and not ever think about it. But we're at a pretty critical point where we've seen the unemployment numbers in this country go up by 6 million in the space of a week. To put those numbers into context, that is almost 10% of all workers suddenly having no jobs. That is a profoundly huge number. And I don't think I want to live in a country where it's possible for people to be so quickly abandoned, left to fend for themselves, and told good luck. I don't think I want to live in a country where people can be cut free so easily, while the companies that employ them shore up their expense accounts with bailout money. And this is the second time in a decade that that's happened at some level in an economic crisis. And I just am not going to take it a third time. And if we go back to the way things were, that's what we're going to get. It's just, again, going to be a matter of time before we find that these institutions, which have been maximizing productivity and profit, but not retaining some measure of fiscal solvency and guaranteeing the rights of their employees and protecting those employees as their most valuable resource, which is crass to say because it's the language of capitalism, but protecting those people as if they're more important than the money they make, that is not something I want to go back to. And I'm really hoping that through this, a lot of people see we don't have to go back to that. That's not a necessary part of any economic model. You don't have to behave that way in order for people to have security and abundance in a society. Like, it's something we cling to, something we hold on to, and something that we've been complacent about maybe, or even celebratory of. But that status quo has to end. If I get sick, I should be able to go to a doctor and not worry about it. Shouldn't have to worry about whether I have a job that gives me health insurance so I don't have an $80,000 hospitalization bill. If I lose my job for some reason, I'm not doing my job well, or company needs to downsize, I shouldn't worry about how much money I have and whether or not I'm going to make it. In the state of Florida, for example, where a lot of these unemployment claims are being filed, by the way, the maximum number of dollars you can claim per week is $275. The average monthly rent for an apartment in Coral Gables, Homestead, South Miami, Brickell, downtown, is anywhere from $1,300 to $2,200 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. You can't pay your rent with $275 a week, let alone eat. That's not okay. That has to change. We've got to do better than that. We can certainly do better than that. Money is a myth. It's a fiction. What money represents is power, influence, security. And if we're building a society where a person's day's work can't secure their needs, the needs of those that depend on them, we're building a society that none of us, I think, should want to be a part of. And obviously that's a moral claim, an ideological claim, and you very well may disagree with me on that. I don't think I'm wrong about it, but it comes back down to something that I've learned and heard time and time again, actually from conservative circles. One of my most important mentors in my life is a man named John Mark, who ran the honors college I was a part of. Went on to found his own school in Texas, which guarantees that tuition is not going to administrative bloat by having all faculty perform administrative functions. And he keeps the cost of attendance low. He makes sure that children from low-income family can attend the school for free. He's doing something serious and ideological and important, and he's a fiscal conservative and a minarchist, which is a kind of libertarian that believes in minimum regulation in most places. And forgive me, John Mark, if I'm miscommunicating your positions. They certainly could have changed over time. You taught us how to do that. But I can say this, he taught me 2 lessons that I will always hold on to, and that I believe, if he can believe that, any conservative can believe. 1, capitalism must end at the body. I don't care about the regulation of the price of a luxury vehicle or a plasma TV. Markets can handle shit like that just fine. But healthcare, not handleable by a market. Education can't be handled by markets. Those are bodily. Those involve the body directly. Food can't be handled by markets. Restaurants can be handled by markets. That's different. But food security, no. Second thing he taught me after capitalism ends at the body, people are more important than ideas. No lesson has had a more profound effect on my life short of the 2 great commandments. Love the Lord your God with all of yourself and love your neighbor as yourself. People are more important than ideas. A concept that limits the power of any other concept. I have a lot of ideology. I have a lot of beliefs. They're forged through a lot of experiences. I take them seriously. I respect them. I respect the beliefs of others and take their beliefs seriously. But a human life is not an idea, and it is therefore more valuable than any idea. Period. There is a thought that kills all thought, and that thought is that thoughts are more important than people. Our economy is a thought. It's an idea. It's a collective story we tell ourselves, and it's an important one. But if it ever makes living hard And especially if it does so needlessly, it's not a good thought. It's an evil thought. Let's have good thoughts. That's my beautiful thought for today. I know it may not sound like it, but it comes down to this. We all have the power to change the story we tell ourselves. We do. We can have a new contract. We can have new relationships. We can have a better place for us all. And I honestly think that it makes the most sense to do it. Imagine a country in which the value of our labor was more evenly distributed between the poor and the wealthy. I'm not even talking about ending class yet, right? Just imagine that for a second. You can have that world. And that world has people with larger life expectancies, better health, better mood, better hope, better productivity, better educations. Because when people are under stress, health goes, education goes, hope goes. Let's build a world where people can hope. We can do that. I want us to do that. I want you and me to do that. Okay, that's it. One of my longer rants. I hope at least it was reasonable. And if not, I hope you know that it was intended to be, and that I really do care about you. And when I say people are more important than ideas, I mean you are more important than the things I'm thinking. Period. Good night, stay safe, stay home as much as you can. Care for those who can't. Goodbye.